Hello everybody and welcome to Forever Rugby on Forever Sports. Breaking news in the Springbok camp. Springbok coaches renew contracts for 4 years. This is the official press release from SA Rugby media release. Springbok coaches have renewed contracts for the next 4 years. On Wednesday, 26th of April 2023, SA Rugby announced that 3 current Springbok assistant coaches, Mzwandile Stick, Deon Davids and Dan Human, as well as Head of Athletic Performance Andy Edwards, has signed contract extensions for another 4 years, which will see them remain with the team until the conclusion of the 2027 Rugby World Cup in Australia. It continues to read on. It says they will continue in their roles under the guidance of SA Rugby Director of Rugby, Rassie Erasmus, whose services are tied in until the end of 2025 season at least. 2 members of the coaching team, Springbok coach Jacques Nienaber and assistant coach Felix Jones, have advised that they are taking up offers with England and Leinster respectively after the 2023 Rugby World Cup. We are delighted to announce that Mzwandile, Deon, Dan and Andy have signed contract extensions that will see them remain with the Springboks until the 2027 Rugby World Cup, said Rian Oberholzer, the SA Rugby CEO. They have all come a long way as coaching team under the guidance of Rassie as director of rugby, and I am confident that the continuity in our coaching staff will bode well for the Springboks for the 2023 and the following seasons. It was our ambition to retain the current coaching staff in recognition of the excellent work that they have done over the past 6 years, regardless of the outcomes of the Rugby World Cup later this year, and we are pleased that most of them have agreed to continue with the team. The planning to confirm a successor in the title role of Springbok coach remains ongoing in the background, while Rassie's services are tied down to the end of the 2025 at the very least. With their services secured, it is business as usual, and we would like to wish all the national coaches the best of luck as their preparations pick up for the forthcoming international season and the Rugby World Cup in France. The Springboks will face Australia in Pretoria on Saturday, 8th of July, in their first test of the season in the abbreviated Castle Lager Rugby Championship, which will be followed by matches against New Zealand at the Mount Smart Stadium in Auckland a week later and Argentina in Johannesburg on Saturday, 29th of July. The team will then make the journey to Buenos Aires in August to take on the Pumas before facing Wales and the All Blacks in Rugby World Cup warm-up matches in Cardiff and London in the final build-up to the Rugby World Cup. South Africa will launch their Rugby World Cup title defence on Sunday the 10th of September against Scotland in Marseille, which will be followed by pool matches against Romania in Bordeaux, Ireland in Paris and Tonga in Marseille. The Rugby World Cup will of course take place in October and September-October, that sort of time around there. So, Springbok coaches, the current assistant coaching staff, of course, to Jacques Nienaber, have renewed their contracts, which is of course different to the fact that Jacques Nienaber has decided to step down after the World Cup. So does that bode questions with regards to Mzwandile Stick, Deon Davids and Dan Human in terms of their eligibility to become Springbok head coach? Are we going to see Mzwandile Stick take on that lead coaching role? Of course, they've all been there for quite a while, and of course, all of them have the Rugby World Cup behind their name after 2019. Of course, this year, 2023, is going to be a big call perhaps for who should take over afterwards. So big call from SA Rugby. Big news, of course, in the fact that the assistant coaching staff will be carrying on after the World Cup, and they have renewed for another 4 years, seeing them to the next World Cup in 2027. So let me know your thoughts in the comments, and as well just generally, what do you make of this news? We've got all of our assistant coaching staff staying on. Our head coach, of course, is changing. Is leaving it after 2020, after this World Cup now. Will one of these 3 or one of these 4 take overs? Of course, this is Mzwandile Stick, Deon Davids, Dan Human and Andy Edwards. They've all signed contract extensions. So is it possible that we see Mzwandile Stick perhaps take over the coaching role? What do you make of that? Do you think that's the right choice? Do we think that we are giving these guys new contracts in a bit too early? Do you not want to see the results from 2023? I mean, do we not want to see what they can do in terms of the current coaching staff? Is this the right decision? All these big questions, but of course, those will all be answered soon. And please do let me know in the comments, of course, big breaking news. Nonetheless, guys, thank you so much for watching Forever Rugby on Forever Sports, and I look forward to seeing all of the comments. Breaking news once more, and just to reiterate, the Springboks have announced that coaching staff have renewed their contracts for the next 4 years. Mzwandile Stick, Deon Davids, Dan Human, and Andy Edwards. They've all signed extensions until at least the 2027 Rugby World Cup. Big news. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching Forever Rugby on Forever Sports. Goodbye.